We're live. Welcome, one and all, to Anima, our bi-weekly game. Or at least it feels like it. But we're here, despite our power going out temporarily and me having a near heart attack. We're here. I've just not been having a good time with technology lately. Last Friday, it's just like my stream just kept messing up, and I just had to restart my computer, and that fixed everything. Like, why? I don't know, but we are here. No special news. I may try producing 2 videos for next week. We're gonna see. We're gonna be getting the Investigator this Saturday, which is a really fun class. Vale, don't have any pages on daylight mode. Only psychopaths use daylight mode.
It pulled up a random article in the background was white, so it just beams me on this monitor.
I think all web pages should just be dark mode automatically.
Fucking horrible.
But we'll see. At the very least, you're getting an Investigator this Saturday. Also, this Thursday, as this is also what I'm telling my co-host what we're doing this Thursday.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to my announcement now. We are, as a sub point from last week, because last week we talked about the various cool religions that you could do and everything like that. Okay, one second.
Sorry to kill your voice once again.
Guess we just won't have voice mod today.
Causes a lot of issues.
Okay, we're back. I hope that's the end of it. I just not using voice mod now. But as a subpoint from last week, this week we're going to talk about the divine or the semi-religious archetypes in Pathfinder. So we're going to be talking about the Red Mantis Assassins, we're going to be talking about the Shadowcasters, and we're going to be talking about also Champion a little bit, because I think Champion has some very interesting divine aspects. Just kind of to show just how cool some of the classes are with the religious pursuit of certain aspects, not even God related necessarily. So that's what we're going to be talking about this Thursday. Check us out at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we'll see you all for an hour, and then half of you will leave to go watch Critical Role at 7 o'clock. We'll have to probably change the day we do our table talk now. But
We'll see what works.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me.
It's a lie. It's only hard because you make it hard, Alex. But anyway, let's get on to Anima since we're already an hour late almost. So, last where we left off. You have all been traveling the very long and winding paths between Hildesheim and Mullenheim, with 2 of the other Frostcollier. Mimir and Winka. And you came across one of the dragons. Unfortunately, you have yet to actually see what the dragon looks like, as you spent the majority of the time trying not to suffocate inside of a cave system that you made yourself. There was a lot of pressure on Sebastian to save the party in this way, and after nearly suffocating a couple times, you managed to successfully avoid the dragon long enough for it to at least lose interest. So, that being the case, you will continue on your journey. And for those who are not familiar, who might be checking in for the first time, don't ask me why there's a dotted line path between Hiddlesline and Elforthul. That's not a real thing, like even in the book lore. Whoever made the map was not dialed in with everything else. So, yeah. We're not going to be making a stop through Elforthul. We're going to go around it.
I mean, I'm just glad they didn't have to populate literally all the locations in the Anima book.
I wish they did.
Or accurate roads. I mean, for them, I'm glad that they didn't have to. I wish they had. But, as somebody who does enjoy making maps, fuck placing towns and cities and roads. Fuck that shit wholesale, full stop.
Wouldn't be such a big problem if you were getting paid for it, though.
No, if I was getting paid for it, it would be a different story.
And they were, so...
Well, commission me for a map. And then you can make me play stupid shit everywhere. Don't actually. I crack under pressure.
Here you go. Here's the Anima World Book. Make all the roads and maps.
Now, your bitch has to be sitting right there, right there. Okay, I can put it right there.
I don't have enough money to pay you for that, and I won't for a long time.
For that, you'd have to charge hourly, Christ.
Yes.
Take fucking forever.
I'd be like, $80 an hour. Can you do it?
It'll be 80 hours over the course of a couple of years.
It would not take that long. It's a big map, but it wouldn't take that long. 80 hours.
It's just some good old Anima jank. What can I say?
But yeah.
But yes. So you're all moving down the road. The clickety clank of the wagon Mimir had purchased, going along the way. As I think I need to turn down Drink Fred Folks.
Occasionally, Finwith's shadow just swoops by.
And as well, after like a good few hours, Sebastian slowly kind of just floats out of the cart that Mimir's driving. Definitely not enough, but not enough weight for him to notice it being gone.
You don't know his perception.
He might notice, but negligible.
I mean, this is the same man that called us out going, yeah, they're not normal, that's not normal, I don't know.
That one hasn't breathed in 2 days. Oh shit, they've caught me out. Maybe I have to start faking my breathing.
The only thing that he's been wrong about is that he thinks Sebastian's a werewolf, but honestly, I can't blame him.
What's really the difference? Every now and then you just... and then probably go murder people. But no one's for sure. You're on for the night.
The difference is the significant weight.
Oh, the werewolf would be a lot more
One can only be
manageable.
hurt by silver bullets. The other can only be hurt by demigod level people.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily we're demigod level people, but we also don't want to kill him, which kind of throws a wrench in the whole process of beating the shit out of the guy that we beat the shit out of before, who's now possessing our friend because I killed my friend.
You know, things that happen.
Anima! Welcome to Tabletop. Wacky hijinks. But yeah, no.
So, that being the case, the remainder of your journey, which this was a 1 second here, let me recalculate the time, shall we? So what happens when I don't play Anima enough? I forget everything that's happening. Why?
I also feel slightly bad for our old wolf buddy, because if Abel Fenwick does like every now and then harass for stories, dude's gotta have done some cool shit. I'll ask Ursula too, just so she feels included, but he's pretty sure she doesn't like him.
She's not outwardly rude, but she definitely doesn't interact with you as much as she feasibly can while not being outright rude about it.
I'd cry a solitary tear, but it would freeze on my face instantly. It's fine. Nothing will ever hurt me the way that Dave Thompson did. Fenwith will entertain himself over the venture, thinking about maybe Bjorn's out there, doing that thing where he, wants to have some influence and get all the clans on the same footing, and maybe he'll bring all the clans together and we can all get together and fight Ringham and Ragnarok. It's gonna be so impressive. Bjorn would make a cool king. He could turn into a fucked up dog man. Love that shit. Daydreams about first friends since after the event. Love you,
That's been a while.
Bjorn was just nice to him. It had been so long. It's okay, he has Alexi. And now he's broken through in us and Sebastian both.
Literally brute forced your love.
I mean, is it Stockholm if other things are kind of keeping you guys together? Like horrific beasts and demons and shit? World-ending plots?
I can't remember. Did you kill him before or after the first hug?
After? Please. I killed him before the hug. The hug came after. Oops.
Who would have thought that a hug literally killed Sebastian? Just kidding.
Oh, he's already dead.
Anyway.
That answered that question, so never mind.
It wasn't 2 months, it was close. It was like 40 days total. Or something like that. Oh wait, no, because you're traveling slower in the mountains. That's right.
I'll be right back, grabbing soup.
Okay, so that's 13 more days. So another 2 weeks added on to what I did.
Also, please take a moment out of your busy days to appreciate my slippers.
Nice.
Those are cool.
You know, my favorite Pokemon is Haunter, but it's very difficult to find Haunter merch.
That's true.
Much easier to find Gengars.
You actually have no idea how common it is for people to prefer Haunter over Gengar.
I
Probably
mean,
because,
Hunter's
like-
cool.
Haunter is my #1 favorite Pokemon. My favorite legendary is Lugia.
How much of it is just
Jolteon's
like
my second.
you had Haunter more because you like couldn't find someone to trade it with?
No, I like its whole aesthetic more.
That's
It just looks cool as
You know,
fuck.
I actually do get that. It does look cooler.
I also like the fact that when it uses Lick, it is literally draining your fucking soul out.
Yeah.
Which is just really cute of it, I think. Though I can appreciate Gengar's thing of like hiding in people's shadows and just gaslighting the shit out of them. Problematic faves. Cancelled on Twitter. Oh, we're good. I got my sleep.
Anyway, sometime you feel that you're almost there. You got maybe a little over 2 weeks left of your journey. One morning, you all wake up and you just feel kind of bleh, is the best way to put it. It just, you don't
Is it
feel like
the bluff in the forest?
no.
Good.
It's just like you're like slightly nauseated, but not enough to be unbearable. You also get a sweet fragrance that wafts by your nose occasionally.
Does it have rot scent?
No. It smells vaguely familiar and it kicks a feeling of nostalgia, but you don't know why. No image directly comes to mind. You all have a -10 all action penalty.
Is it familiar to all of us?
If you ask each other. Yes.
Yeah, then I've been with after catching the scent is like an actual scent, just kind of tilt. You can see the feathers for a moment. What is that?
I am not sure. I am not able to place it.
He kind of glances over. Go ahead.
Don't suppose there's a way to identify where it's coming from, or is it just in like a general area?
Catch it when the wind blows.
It's
a certain
only
way.
vague. Any attempts to seek it out, you lose the scent. But anytime your mind aimlessly wanders, it comes back at you, hitting you just slightly.
At some point, like Finwit's irritated enough to actually shift out of the owl into something that has a high scent perception. Probably the wolf shape.
Similar. Whenever you attempt to find it, it's like it disappears, hiding from you.
Oh, it's the lynx. Okay. He's very grumbly about that.
Sebastian would like to try to expel this feeling of nostalgia, if possible.
Disgusting.
What are you wrong?
Minus, composure, if that would
Okay.
work. Off to a great start.
What'd you roll?
I got a 4.
Awesome.
I got a 129.
Well, it kind of works when you're thinking about it. It's like the more you think about it, the more it disappears. But again, whenever you aim, your mind aimlessly wanders. Whenever you just like, okay, maybe it was just a thing, it hits you again. It does seem to be that the smell is triggering the sense of nostalgia.
And to the party, Sebastian has his obvious, to you all at least, just due to his nature, like, he is in thought phase. As well, trying to place it in his own head, because something smelling good has never been something he's cared about or has ever
I don't have
memorized.
opinions.
It's, you know, you don't smell nice things, like something sweet and nice when you're in a laboratory for most of your life. And then when he was out of it, he didn't give a shit. So he's trying to find out as well if this is like possibly some form of attack. Setting up for an ambush or something.
Fenwith will inform you with the, after he notices you're in your thoughts, like a more hypermobile ear kind of turns back. The thick, like lynx ruff of fur just kind of soothes back out. Can't follow it, whatever it is.
Strange.
Mimir speaks up. And he's like, "What skull you bothered about this morning?"
Weird smell. Keep catching it. Can't follow it.
He takes a moment. He sniffs about. And he's like,
Familiar though.
"Don't smell nothing but snow."
Sebastian's kind of just curls a little bit, his facial expression. Immediately distrusting of, just, not of him, but the situation.
You smelled anything? Asks herself.
She takes a moment, closes her eyes, and she seems to open her senses up as much as she can, and she's just shakes her head, and she's like, "No, at least nothing more than usual."
Something's going on then.
Well, what do you all think we should do?
Not much we can. I can't track it. It's only when you not paying a lot of attention.
Looks at Alexei. Do you see any magic around us?
It doesn't appear so, right?
Nope.
That's nothing that I am able to see now.
And we should probably keep our eyes peeled. This could be something's attempt to distract us and lure us into some sort of ambush.
I mean, Alexei can feel stuff nearby. And things are alive.
Dryads like to do something along those lines. Sweet-smelling fruit or flowers bring you into the grove where it's already too late. But he looks around at the near barren peak line around. I don't think that's anything we're worrying about here.
I don't think we're gonna run into the same succubus again, but thinking about it, is that at all familiar?
Are you asking, or are you asking the DM?
Asking the DM.
You don't associate her necessarily with any smell.
Didn't think so. Maybe some weird wake stuff. He like wiggles his fingers. Doesn't smell like that grove that we were in. This didn't have a particular scent.
Nope. Maybe. If any of you make a decent enough memorize.
I wasn't there. I have a good memorize, but I wasn't there.
I mean,
I'm talking about the scent in general.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, I'll try that then. Good lord.
It won't matter because I don't have anything in memorize, so it's gonna shoot down to a 60, but it was a 90.
Sad.
Yep, big satch.
I mean, memorize is an innate skill, so.
Oh, well, then it's just a 90, but I don't have anything
But
to
a
add
90
to
is
it.
not going to be enough.
Yeah, I got a 94.
Not even my superior senses, because that doesn't mean my brain gets it.
Nope.
So,
If anything, that just means it gets stuck in your head easier and deeper.
You said plants will sometimes lure you in. Do you know any creatures that would do it whenever you're lost in thought? Because that's when the scent appears for me. If my mind is occupied, I don't smell anything.
Well, not anything like that. I mean, it's quite possible, I'm sure. Nothing I've run across. But,
we've run into the Demon's Kiss ones and the Blood Vines. But I think we'd realize if we were somewhere with the Blood Vines again.
don't know what you're talking about. So I have no idea. All
Super
I can
easy.
say.
Makes weird, like, paper thin, like, they act almost like dumb ant drones or something, like termites. But they are what blood feed these huge trees that have like vein roots. And if you break the vines nearby that grow there, it apparently attracts a bunch of ghosts, spirits of them.
That sounds like quite the story.
Yeah, I got some with me. Not where it would do that though.
Yeah,
That's one of the trinkets.
not like it'd be too much. Maybe some frostbitten here and there, but we're in a place that's not too bad. Granted, I probably shouldn't draw problems where they don't belong.
I don't know
In any
what want
case.
the spirits of the peaks.
In any case, hidden smells can be hard to find, that's for sure. Sometimes it's on your clothes, but rarely it happens amongst several people, and if we can't smell it, then it probably ain't something, you know, on you.
Still check your rations if I were you.
That's fair. Well, let's just keep marching on for now, and if anything happens, I guess we'll just have to deal with it the old-fashioned way.
He smiles, all lynx teeth.
With that, he packs his pipe and lifts the cart and turns into the best Viking steam wagon you've ever seen. And you continue on through the day. Nothing happens. Eventually, night falls. Just to be sure, you have some extra watches, just in case. Next morning, nothing happens.
Does our penalty get worse or just stay at the 10?
Just stays at a 10. You still get this slight nauseated feeling. As you keep going along, days go by. Eventually, you just start getting used to it. That scent hits you. You get this feeling like... It's like when you remember a scene from a movie, but you absolutely cannot place the scene whatsoever. All of it triggered by a sweet, almost flowery fragrance. Eventually, after a week or so, you just start putting it in the back of your mind. Melanie never goes away.
By the way, how long has it been since the tournament?
Well, you have a calendar. You do know that the tournament happened around New Year's.
So it's been a minute.
Looks like we still got some time though.
Normally, I would say, fuck that bitch. What you gonna do? Make us go back? But like, honestly, the Prison of Noah seems kind of fun. Minus the severe trauma of the trial, fighting shit was fun, and we got some cool stuff out of it.
I'm certain there's nothing weird and deeply personal we'd have to fight down there. It was just a one-off. It was like the new block, you know, like, all right, if you can't make it past here, like after that, like, you're set. Get this, you're good.
I'd say at some point on the journey, on this essay, probably throw out the suggestion. Maybe that walking stick has some knowledge on whatever has gotten us. He's not sure if it does, but he throws out the suggestion.
What if it's just something stupid, though? And we're dumb for not thinking about it. He, like, picks up the walking stick, like, wiggles it at you slightly. But I can use it if you want.
We can see if it has anything to say. We've had moments where it doesn't give us answers.
Good. Sure.
By the way, the calendar is for essentially the length of the trip, because I'm not going to be adjusting it for every hypothetical day we power through, so.
Yeah. Then I suppose a camp at some point. Then we'll use the walking stick and ask.
What question?
About us. What would create a sweet scent that comes and goes only when you're not paying close mind to it? With the lingering, I guess, fatigue, exhaustion, weakness, whatever the feeling is itself.
Okay. You sit down and focus on the question. And you don't even seem to go into your like fugue state. You feel like the question is too vague.
Yeah. It just kind of eventually, like, a motion to the side. It can't. It's not enough.
It was worth a try at least.
You're nuts.
The walking stick only works with people, place, and things.
Okay. Mimir, have you ever had a question about some type of like creature, person, or ruins or something? Might be able to answer.
Maybe back in the day, but now I'm just too old. Any questions now will just haunt me for the rest of my days.
Gives him an odd look at that. Just okay. Points at Ursula. You got any pressing mysteries?
I will politely refuse.
Oh, fun. He pouts.
Sebastian's like looks a little slightly embarrassed. Actually curious about something with the walking stick.
Sure.
Knows information about lots of people. Do you think it can answer questions about us? Does, if we asked it to tell us about ourselves, one of us?
He just kind of stares at you. The wide eyes, like, with the links, they catch the light in that odd cat-like way. Do you want me to ask who you were before you ended up in the lab?
I was mainly wondering, I mean, if it could even, I wouldn't call us, myself, really notable figures, but I'd be okay to learn the information of that question.
It'd give me a chance to try. Maybe something out there knows. I just won't be able to tell you what. And Finwith will essentially ask platform. The wording for your origins, specifically like parents and birthplace. Where was Sebastian Finch born, and to whom? With a shot. Double no.
This time, you do go to the campfire. As you go and you sit and you wait, no one shows up. After about 5 minutes or so, Finwith snaps to reality.
He looks around.
Nothing.
Sorry. I guess you'd have to find some kind of the papers. Or maybe whoever knows is still around.
He shrugs. It was minor curiosity, mainly.
He does.
Maybe one day that stick will have something to say about our lives, but where I'm from doesn't really matter to me.
It will definitely have something to say about us when Ragnarok comes around, because we are going to be big old heroes. I'm not going down without a good fight.
Agreed.
Nods in agreement.
Forgets to do Roscalier for a second.
Yeah, Ursula looks at you all curiously, and Mimir gets a little interested. Neither say anything.
Oh yeah, Sebastian, I mean, remembering they're there, like, also just, I was about to reveal my past, and there's two strangers.
We've gotten him too comfortable around us.
By the way, just so you can prepare, in 20 years the world will end. I suggest you prepare in some way.
They both look at each other for a moment before looking back at you. Ursula's the one who speaks, and she's like, and what do you mean by that?
Lord of Shadows, they're called. Powerful ancient spirit lives in the Gehenna Forest in Moth, told us that he and Hringham and many other things like them are getting ready for the end of the world. They had different names for it, but it is Ragnarok. Time of destruction comes.
And how do you know that this Lord of Shadows is telling the truth?
They have no reason to lie. He is building an army, a city to be ready for it.
This warrants a slightly worried look. Roll persuasion.
Shit, I forgot I've been putting persuasion on my list.
Oh yeah.
It's been slowly building in the background. 163.
Type in chat.
And if you saw the dream, everyone else did, or felt it. You know that Ringham is ready to.
They both look to each other, concerned, and Amir just lets out a big huff, and he's like, "Oh, nothing I gotta worry about." Ursula, her face sours a bit at his response, and then she says, "So, what do we do about this?"
That's something I intend to find out.
Ready your people. Make sure the Frostcalia are strong. You are far from the cities, so maybe the south will have it worse. I don't know where it will come, what things will wake. Maybe the ice will break and the giants will return.
Yeah, well, we've always had the Dark King sitting at our doorstep. Maybe we'll have another White Knight.
The people of the north will do what they have always done. We will fight. And if there are any left, we will tell good stories about it.
Mimir kind of nods, satisfactory with that response. Ursula looks a little less pleased. And, yeah. Anything else you want to say to them?
There's now just like the little pin in the Hoffman political issues of end of the world, maybe? Do we believe it? Fuck.
You were rather convincing, to some degree.
It was a rather surprising thing when we found that as well.
If you train and prepare, you lose nothing. You will just be stronger if it doesn't come. But
Ursula's just like, we would do that regardless.
he nods.
Whether
do it.
this Ragnarok or whatever you say happens or not, that doesn't mean that the Dark King is any less of a threat.
Oh, no. We plan to go fight him. The shaman called us. He pauses for a moment to consider the amount of time. Over a year now. We have been getting ready. Did not think it would happen so soon, that he would come here. But when we are done here, we go there.
Well, I guess good luck to you all.
I hope that Ray is not there.
Don't we all?
He nods. It looks like he'd be good in the fight, but he is very loud.
Yeah, well, you can't be such a pain in the ass without being that good and live this long anyway, so.
Oh no, someone would have taken his head off if not.
It's true.
He nods.
Anything else you want to say to them this evening?
Nothing on this end.
Okay.
Does feel a little bad about telling the old guy, like, hey, the end of the world, you're gonna miss it. It's fun. Dude, just get, like, the key ability is actually super cheap if you go down it to get, like, extended life. You can do it, man. You can fight it off. Unless he's had it this whole time.
Just be immortal. Not hard.
Yeah, come on, like, extend your lifespan by 3. Doc's probably gonna do it. He's got too much to learn now. And also to spite Arthur's ass. Fucking nemesis ass bitch. And the Vitala. Fuck the Vitala. He wants to live long enough to just shove it in the Amaru's face. So when is this human gonna fucking start aging and dying? Why is he still around? Spite. Spite and key. That aside, our campfire chat's over.
That's fine. So, you all rest for the evening and continue your journey. You start getting closer to your destination. And, when you're about a day out, Mimir kind of stops and he's like, alright, we're about to come to the double-blind bend soon. I'll leave it up to you what we do with all of it, but I'm going to be the, well, bait, as it were.
Alright.
It's your mission. You're smart. He just points at Sebastian. And my people. It's not going to go easy. But what do we want to do?
Sebastian would like to make a tactics roll.
Infant with Lions, do anything about the sculling that he can.
What is the intent of your tactics?
To set up the perfect ambush using Mimir's bait. Hopefully to limit a lot of fighting. But essentially just to get Skulling's attention and hopefully not get us or them to super kill.
Okay. Go ahead, make a roll.
There we go. That is a 320. I maxed out.
Okay. Type it in chat.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, thinking about it, you fought the Skulling once before. Long time ago now. About a year ago. When you and, Olin, or no, Golan, yeah, was coming through. The going into the peak of the world for the first time. And based on what you knew then, and also based on where Fenwith was when you first met, to about now, you're confident that you all could casually stroll into this ambush and deal with these Skulling unless something unthinkable happens. In the case that something unthinkable happens, you're confident that you could handle it. But your wisest choice would be to send your person who's capable of dealing with multiple opponents to suppress the rest of the Skulling, while the rest of the team deals with the more major threats. But you think the probability of that happening is less than 1%. So, you know you all could physically overpower a normal Skulling and probably multiples. And from Mimir's general demeanor, you feel that he would be capable as well. Ursula might struggle a little bit more, but she does seem competent enough that even a handful of sculling probably would be a match for her.
I'm mostly worried about how talking to them goes, but that is... He just looks at Sebastian with like a small smile, like almost like a pitying expression. It's like, but that is not your strong suit. The Southerners, though, are strange. I don't know what they can do, why they are here.
Well, at least the scale of this, we are in no danger. All of us could easily overpower any of them in a fight. The only thing we'd have to worry about is one of us, or a few of us, making sure our sled does not get overwhelmed if it does become an all-out fight with this going. Though, if talking goes well, we shouldn't need to kill all of them. As well, if we are fighting them, we could always prioritize non-lethal. In any regard, we are in no danger. Anything that could come up to ruin this is something that is unforeseeable. Though, if something does come up, I believe that we can all adapt. Be fine.
He nods. Alright.
So, can we see Double Blind Ben from where we are, or is it blocked off?
You're a day out, so you can't see it quite yet. You do know Double Blind Ben is the last valley, kind of like where the L is in world on the map there. It's a deep valley that goes down into a pretty thick set of trees. And the trees kind of wrap around the bases of both sides of this valley. So from one side of the valley to the other, you cannot see the road. You cannot see through the trees. If one person was to be attacked on one, like in Double Blind Ben, anyone coming from the opposite direction would not be able to see it until they cross paths. So
I was asking more like if we were on a high enough point, we could look and see the valley upcoming or anything like that. But since we're a day out, no.
Unfortunately, you enter the tree line before the mountain even starts curving around to meet to the valley. So
Well, with the day out, Finwith does go to the bear shape, just so he strikes a more obvious figure.
And Finwith, I know you would know the general tactics of a sculling raid. Depending on their clan's makeup, so if they have any beastmasters or anything like that. If they have any beastmasters, they'll suddenly send in their large warg dogs first.
Would he hear the whistle calls for the wards before, like they did in the north last time they got an attack?
Not until the moment they were attacking already.
Okay.
So, because it would be imprudence to alert your foe beforehand. If they don't have those, though, then the typical sculling raiding method is to run in, ambush, guerrilla warfare, kill as many people as you can, if not everyone, and take the goods. Any women or any important enough looking folk should be captured if they can be done so easily. Anyone who puts up too much of a resistance should be killed on the spot. Woman, child, or whatever. The whole sculling raiding method is literally a quick, easy meal.
Yep.
They don't want any more hassle than they have to deal with.
Just like predators. Don't want to waste the calories.
Yep.
resources with the potential to be hurt. Alright.
Another thing that should be mentioned as well, they have a ferocity over tact. Their whole method is to go in and attack as quickly and recklessly as possible.
Yeah, it's an
Even-
intimidation, too.
Well, there's that too. They have a lot of shouts and stuff they do. Nothing that will affect you guys, though, you feel. But, even if the opponents are strong, that's not the thought when jumping in for the attack, because essentially, like, how it happens is even a strong opponent caught off guard can be slain easily. So they're going to attack you probably with all their might and ferocity right out the gate, and they will do so in careless and, they'll be going for the neck even if they have to reveal their own first. Ouch.
You don't see any commentary.
Too soon.
Alex saw the commentary. But yeah, so they're gonna get steamrolled when they jump us. Yeah. I mean, Finwith already had a leg up on a good number of his kin, what with the magic, so.
Somewhat. Back in the day, back in your level 3 days, you weren't able to do quite nearly as much.
I didn't have access to as many bits and bobbles.
Well, right, but
Or
also
else I
remember
would've
your
been
character, like, distribution. They were going all combat, but you had to distribute into magic in your early days, so.
I don't think I was ever too far behind on, like, Doc.
Well, no, but you had to have at least minimum amounts of investment and everything
Yeah.
early. And all those points spent, they spent on just hit shit. So.
Sure.
You balanced out much better since then. But at least in your early days. It gave
they
you
don't
an
know about the
edge.
bear damage.
Bear damage. Anyway.
Alright, let's go get attacked.
Alrighty. So, you continue on. You camp the night before, just on the edge. You can see the forest now as it's big, pine and other coniferous trees. Extending high, creating a very thick bed. This seems to be like a worm point in the mountain range where, many more plant life and trees can grow. You can also estimate that this part of the forest probably also has more game than typical. More wildlife. Honestly, pretty ideal hunting grounds. Something about this area also strikes you, Finwith, as like a really good place for the sculling. It's a great place to fight territorially, to maintain a good amount of hunting, to get raids. Like, this feels like the ideal sculling hideout location to you.
Almost tastes like home, just to the nth degree.
When you all rest for the evening. You make sure that night to make a pretty big fire. Lots of smoke.
Need some green wood.
And the next day, you begin moving on through the forest. You move at a much more leisurely pace than you have up until this point. Mia's not taking any special effort now to avoid any rocks or any divots in the road. causing loud clanking sounds as he goes along. It's not even midday yet by the time they come out of the woods at you, out of nowhere. Fortunately, you have Mr. Radar Man himself. So, by the time that they even thought of attacking you, Alexia already knew.
And we're close enough, well, miles, but are we close enough that he can, like, feel, like, a larger cluster, like, wherever the sculling main body would be? At least in what direction?
What's your distance? Hundreds of miles?
Hundreds of miles.
Miles and miles.
Oh, that's right, he's not at hundreds of miles yet. He's just at miles and miles. Maybe, like, 10.
You know what I love as a DM? Vague numbers.
It's the best.
Welcome to Anima. It's either way stupid specific or way not at all.
Just kind of hand wavy. We're gonna give you exact numbers until we.
Listen, it got close to production date, and we had a book to print.
Wait, there's half a mile and then there's hundreds of miles, Devin. What do you have?
Gotta recalculate.
Yeah, that is true. Probably haven't.
It's the average between your martial knowledge and your notice score. So you add your martial knowledge to your notice and divide by 2.
Why do I have so many abilities? Okay.
You should have a total martial knowledge.
I do. It was I had to sift through all the abilities because I was scrolling up instead of down.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. I would still be at the half mile.
Oh, okay. Well, then we've been
Is-
cheating this whole time.
Bad Devin. 1,000 years of jail. I think 255 is still at the 150 feet, so.
Let's see. I have a text document.
255 is at the 300 feet.
Oh shit, alright, cool. Got 300 feet now.
Yeah.
You gotta if you want to get the hundreds of miles, because I did this, you have to stupid invest.
Yeah, you have to have a total of...
actively.
Gotta crank that notice.
Well, cranking the notice helps, but you have to have an average score of 400.
Yeah, because I could pull an Arthur sheet. Let's see. Let's see what his notice was before I could even get it. He gets 50 martial knowledge each level too. So
Devin, make sure you mark next to your key detection your distance, so that doesn't get accepted.
at level 9, Arthur had 235 notice.
235. Yeah.
Yep, and a martial knowledge of a bit over 600.
I think Finwood's martial knowledge is 510.
It is an active.
His notice is very small though. It's not have a great notice. I mean, I've cranked it since. Now that I had everything else dealt with, I could finally put points into notice and persuasion. So those have just been steadily climbing in the background this whole time.
But yeah, so slight-ish correction. When they start pursuing you and they get within your range, you notice. Which, I mean, honestly is still a good 20 minutes before the attack.
By the time they're like getting out of the woods, all of us are just staring there, like where they're coming from.
Because that's like, what,
Shut the heck on.
2550, like 2,550 feet or whatever.
Still a long ass range for
It's
on
still a
foot.
pretty good range. That's, more than 10 city blocks. So,
Well, they don't get to jump on us, and they're about to get rolled.
2,640 feet, yeah.
Non-lethal's gonna be trivial too.
yeah, no. Well, speaking of, when the time comes, and Alexi notifies you, you're all pretty ready. And you've all expressed that you want to do this non-lethally.
Gotta get information from somebody. Can't all be dead.
All right.
Though Fenwick does warn them, like, do not ever turn your back on them. If they do surrender, if they seem down but not dead, like, don't trust it. They'll fight to the end. You two who are there for the original, like, sculling fight are aware that, like, Fenwick tried to talk to one for 2 seconds and basically got spit at.
True.
Not
Yeah,
that he's
they're-
worried they're gonna get a death blow on any of you.
Ever since Demon Blood? No, what was? God, it's been a while since I've had to remember his name.
Who are you referring to?
The guy with the dragon. Doombear. Ever since Doombear, the Sculling have taken on a weird zealousness to their to how they interact with people.
Gunnar Scullenbert.
You're either with the Skulls or you're not. Which is kind of more of it's like you're either with the Dragon of Destruction or you're not, in a more symbolic way than anything. So, as you're all walking along, they get within your range, Finwith. And
There's just a huge cloud of steam as he just breathes out slow.
And suddenly, you detect a couple of energy sources very rapidly approaching, faster than the rest. 2 large wargs jump out of the woods at you all.
He's aware it probably won't stop him, but he will whistle the stop command. Or roughly what he remembers of it. The same he did before. If nothing else, to throw them off.
Let's see here. What's all y'all's base initiatives? We'll go on this order.
110.
100 flat.
Base initiative. 100 flat as well.
Uh, 125.
Okay. So when the wargs come out of the woods, Anastasia, what do you do?
He is going to... Actually, no, that wouldn't be 125. I forgot I have quick reflexes. So that would be a 170.
All right, that doesn't change anything. Is that taking into account the armor penalty you have?
Yeah, that is taking that into account.
Okay. What do you do?
Dodge and prepare to counter.
No. You're misunderstanding. What do you do about the warg situation? This is not combat.
He's going to trust Finwith on this one, and he's going to follow Finwith's lead because these are Finwith's people.
I mean,
And he knows.
he hasn't said that he's planning anything on the wards, at least.
No, he's not. But if anything, his hand's on the weapon, but he's not going to act or anything until combat officially starts, if it does. If anything, he's near the back of the cart where
work on
there's
wards?
little defenses.
Okay. See, you, the wargs come out. You easily, effortlessly dodge them despite your heavy armor. Just barely keeping out of their range, and you move around. Sebastian, what are you doing?
I have a cheeky dumb idea. Just as like an action for a quick little moment,
Okay.
I would like to use. I think repulsion could be fun. Just make like a line barrier in front where they're running towards. I'm not gonna maintain it. I just want it up for like an action, so they kind of just barrel into it.
Okay. Well, you do so. You create a line. Just in the moment a war comes out, it bounces off of this invisible force, goes rolling into the snow. We'll give this one to Finwith. What are you doing now?
Shuttle the whistle to stand down and just kind of intimidating figure.
Get raw on animal handling.
Oh god, we've come so far. It's a 143. No, right in the chat.
Yes, please do. Okay. Roll for the Beastmasters real quick. Yep.
Finwith wanted to be one at one point.
You let out the whistle, and they stop sliding in the snow. They're looking at you. They have very aggressive, overly animated faces. Like every part of their jowl can move, and their ears are twitching around as they seem confused, but you did seem to successfully stop them. Alexi, what are you doing?
All right. Well, let's see. Alexi's just gonna hold off for now.
Okay. Seeing that you stopped the wargs, Ursula has her hand on the weapon, but it has not drawn it yet, and Mimir has sets the cart down, and mere seconds after the wargs came rolling into the camp, a large group, maybe 8 or so skulling, come bursting through the woods. An axe comes flying by, and you easily dodge it, Alexi. Just quickly sidestepping, it goes flying by, impaling a nearby tree. I don't need to roll any of these checks. They will never get anywhere near you guys.
Everybody popping 200s.
Yeah, these guys are rolling like with a plus 80. So,
just out of curiosity, what is the normal damage characteristic for like their weapons? Is it a 60 per chance?
What, base
I think
damage?
so.
Yeah,
Probably won't get you. Yeah,
because
barrier.
I can easily at base just get a damage barrier of 60. So
Yeah. Like, this is not a contest.
Yeah.
No.
You guys are level 20 adventurers walking into a level 5 goblin camp.
Yeah.
This is nothing. So these scolding come running in. Anastasia, what do you do? Paint the scene for me, everyone. Let's make this interesting. You have the power.
Yeah, like Finwit's like mid-stride, like between the two wargs, like eyes on them, like a low growl, just so they don't fucking move. Don't fuck with me. Big puppies.
Anastasia waits until they're in full view before he steps into a shadow and then steps out of one behind them. With the sword at the ready, more as an intimidation factor rather than to attack.
Okay. Sebastian, what are you doing?
Immediately, Sebastian's sword just draws itself rapidly. Point first, but then turns to be at the hilt. And he's going to send it towards some of the sculling. He's going to be going non-lethal, just going for colliding with them with the handle of the blade to do some damage, and hopefully not permanent damage. As he sends it around, just attacking those, maybe locking some up in a sword, like a pointless sword fight with a floating sword or something.
Okay. All right. I'm going to express to y'all again. You have the power. If you say you kill someone,
You just do it.
someone. You knock someone out. You tell me the number. This is the scenario we're dealing with right now.
You get to power play.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then, in that case, I have something. I'll do something different then.
Okay.
Sebastian is going to just focus hard as he's going to psychokinetically almost affect like the snow and landscape around them as it just kind of swirls and swirls, forcing in this area like behind them to just become this awful storm of snow and ice. It's this impenetrable kind of field behind them as it's kind of just moving closer and closer, going to collide. Those getting too close find their themselves buffeted and thrown around, hit with larger chunks of ice and snow. This wind's too strong to properly move through.
All right, Alexi, what are you doing?
All right. Alexi, kind of seeing the skills of the warriors, realizes that he will probably kill somebody if he swings a weapon. So
Come on, you can prove Arneus wrong. You have the control.
I mean, if he holds back, he will still kill somebody. So he kind of places the sword back in its sheath, and he actually rushes up to one of them and swings at them, holding back and seeing if that's around a better strike than using his weapon.
You tell me. I've given you
Okay.
full power in this scene.
Power play! Come on, throw it back to the old Bleach forums. Let's do this.
All right. He runs up and he grips the face of one of the guys and slams them into the ground, knocking them unconscious. And gets up really quickly as a bunch of powdered snow comes flying up into the air, and he goes in for the next one. This time, kind of taking them, grabbing them, throwing them over his hip and slamming into the ground. And yeah.
Okay. So snow is blowing about. Anastasia has moved behind them. They're just like, where'd the kid go? Alexi's bodying fools, slamming them into the ground, hip throwing them judo style. What are you doing, Fenwith? You got two doggos on standby.
He will give them, like, he's accumulating, and as he passes between the two dogs, still obviously, like, on the edge of aggression, especially with the fight starting, he gives them the command to stand down, to like stay. As he then begins to pop and twist and the limbs extend, as he is going to use the Kongsbjorn form if he can pick out the strongest of the gaggle, and will sway over in a suddenly very short few steps to reach out with a massive clawed hand and just grab and lift up above the chaos.
All right.
Huge plume of steam around.
You bring him into the tree line.
In that case, there's like an arm that just through all of the branches, sending shit cascading all around.
Okay.
But he has the ability to stand. And he'll stay hunched some so that he can not block the view as well, because this is part of a display of power.
Okay. You grab whom you think looks the strongest. It's so hard to tell now. And you inhale into his, or exhale into his face.
He doesn't do the fangs this time, though, the typical Kongsbjorn teeth. It's not as exaggerated as usual in case he needs to speak. Though, as if to try and get a point across without having to speak yet, he does whistle again the stand down command, as if for the sculling this time.
Okay. You do so. He looks freaked out, looking up at you. To the sculling run in on Ursula. She steps to the side, and she kicks the back of the knee of one, sending them tumbling into the snow. And another one leaps up at her. She steps to the side. She grabs his shoulder. He reaches up to grab her arm, and doing so is almost as if that was her bait. She twists his arm behind his back and just quickly jabs him in the side by pulling the sheath of her weapon just right into the side of his head. It knocks him real silly. Doesn't knock him out, but knocks him pretty silly. Mimir, after dropping the cart, rolls his shoulders. One of the guys come up. He steps down low and just does a rising uppercut. He literally lifts this man up off the ground by doing so. And as his ankle hits the right place, he grabs it and just boom! Slams the guy into the ground. And he then is like, whoo, as he steps to the side as another guy comes swinging out at the side.
The mirror gives me the big energy, he'd do the thing in the movies where he grabs two people's heads and just conks them together.
I was literally thinking that earlier. I thought the uppercut slam was going to be a slightly better one, though.
It's cool, because it has the cinematic. You can imagine this guy flying back and then being slow motion grabbed very quickly, anime blur effect, slammed into snow, so it just poof, outwards.
Yeah.
But for the more casual display, as just an offhand, he has the big energy that he would just.
Oh yeah, no. If we want to get really campy with this, it would be the whole swashbuckler, running around, grabbing two guys, slamming their head, coconut
Except
sound,
it's huge, so you're oh god, it moves so fast.
Yeah. And, the way he fights and everything, he just moves so fast, and his attacks are so vicious that with all the pelts and everything he wears on top of anything, you would swear you're being attacked by a werewolf if this was the scenario. It's just, he's just a furry man to begin with pelts on top of it, so. In any regard, thematically moving, we're gonna go to Finwith. So what are you doing now? You got this guy. He feels intimidated.
He just lowers himself all at once, so the guy's just poofed into the snow. With the sheer force that digs the claws into the dirt underneath, or stone underneath,
Okay,
but without crushing the guy. Right. He keeps his hand cupped. But just so the guy's aware of that he could have just pasted him. And in a Goldarian accent, he doesn't speak in very often. It is very rare, and only when he is only very upset. And once before have you heard it with such intent. Sebastian, I think, was actually the only one close enough probably back then, but Anas may have heard it as well, as he speaks in the schooling, like rough dialect of Goldarian. I would give up if I were you. I want to speak to your chief.
The man, looking horrified, just
Before he can
nods.
answer, just, yeah, as he does, he's like, I will speak to your chief. He nods.
And shortly after this, everyone else either knocks out or subdues or chases off the rest of the sculling.
They can't escape. Anastasier's too fast.
Yeah, there's nowhere to run.
Do you want to wrangle them all?
If you all decide you don't want anyone to escape, they will not escape.
No, Nas is not letting anyone go anywhere. Not the chance
got
to
a
bring it
cart.
back more.
Someone
Yeah.
thinks they can run off into the tree line. Anastasia just appears from the shadow, baseball bat, sword, like right to the gut.
One guy's just covered in centipedes. They're not even up at the peak of the world. But
Like,
yes.
legitimately speaking, this combat would not have even lasted 2 rounds.
No.
Not against y'all.
There's a lot of abilities all of us have where I'm pretty sure we could one-shot a group
Yeah,
of 8
even
people.
in mass amount, like, we have AoE options, and,
Yeah.
like, we have 2 characters. Actually, we have 3 characters that are very suited to cleave attacks.
I can cleave attack if needed at an absurd range. With a
That's
good
fair, you can do it too, yeah.
Yeah,
Your
I can
average
area attack with a
your
Lawbringer.
average skilling has a 115 attack, a 100 dodge, and 166 life points, which is actually a fair amount.
That is.
Like, tough as nails, gotta be.
Oh, they're probably all weapon masters, huh?
They are all weapon
Excellent.
masters, yeah.
That would make sense.
The shamans are few and far between, and even they are gonna punch you in the fucking face.
But you all double all their scores.
Yeah.
So it's not much of a contest.
So I guess they are rounded up. Any who refuse to surrender are knocked unconscious. We have a cart for it if we need it.
Yeah, they also only have a composure of 20.
As well, because of what Finwith mentioned, all of the Skulling's weapons are shattered. As just, however they're standing, or wherever they are, just their weapons just disappear into like almost a cloud of dust. So they're just eliminated
Alright.
from the weapons.
Eventually, Fidwith twists back down to just the regular bear shape and looks over his shoulder and whistles for the words. Wait, looks down at the guy.
The guy looks
And
at you,
pulls him up.
he speaks in the schooling dialect. And he's just like, who are you?
Finwith Galenson. Who is in charge? Who replaced Skullenward?
Roll your choice of intimidation or persuasion.
Pretty much almost the exact same roll. As soon as they surrender, and he shifts back down to the shape, it's just an awareness that, they're thoroughly intimidated, they're clearly beat, he doesn't need to use the hammer. So it will be persuasion. As he drops into the... It's a little like coming home. Not just the mountains and the presence of other sculling, but being able to talk like he used to.
Okay. He drops his head and he says, sorry, skips the page.
And each of the sculling, like, the separate bands have their own, like, smaller clan names, right? The Skull and Burt was,
Yeah.
what, Grimfang?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever gave Finland's a name.
They're very typically like your standard tribal naming conventions. Some kind of color, emotion, or like some kind of descriptor, and then oftentimes a piece of an animal, like talon, claw, fang.
Hey, Alex, do you know what that sounds like?
Mhm.
Do you know what that sounds like, Alex? He knows.
Anyway,
I've been thinking on it.
he's like, we follow one of the mid-chiefs, Torsten Markusen of the Blue Feather clan.
What all are here?
They tell you the long story of the sculling. That after
Yes.
what happens with the Doom Bear, the survivors of the Great Avalanche, they call it, or the Great Snowfall, depending, pulled themselves from the snow and were scattered. The Blue Feathers, which were one of the more mid-chief is a term for a clan that never had a lot of standing, so they were called mid-chiefs rather than chiefs, as in like their chief was just a step under from other chiefs. Small clans typically had like 20 people in it, nothing huge, not like the 40 or 50 man clans of the skilling. The Blue Feathers were known as some of the least, they didn't raid as often, as many clans don't. The term Blue Feather, like, specifically means they were bird hunters by name, which is not a great thing in a clan of Beastmasters. This being the case, they were not in any of the front lines, and so they suffered almost no losses during the Great Avalanche. They did assist and bring out from the snow as many as they could. There is now not much more than about 60 sculling left. That have been brought together, and they're now hiding somewhere. Not too far off. They're about a day or so out from where you guys are at. Somewhere within the double-blind bend. And currently, most of their new clan is waiting at their hideout, which is a
Can I get the
small
spelling of
forest
the guy's name?
encampment.
The
Forest.
Chiefs. And shamans. Do you have any?
He shakes his head. We have no shamans.
He nods. That disappointed look on his face for a moment.
Shamans were typically spiritual leaders, and they were a morale booster on the battlefield, having medicine packs and everything like that. So they very typically were mid-army, and thus many shamans were destroyed in the avalanche.
Yeah, he wasn't sure though if they'd picked up anybody on the march up north from those who didn't answer or couldn't because they weren't battlefield fit.
Though when you do mention shaman, they do mention that they've captured a shaman not too long ago, about a month ago.
From where?
And he's currently, he was somewhere, oh, let's see. He was somewhere up near Muspelheim.
Is he a part of the clans?
No.
Why are the southerners up here?
He looks at any still conscious comrades, if any, and looks up and he says, I don't know. I only spoke with the chief. But they knew a lot. Knew a lot about these mountains. They're the ones who brought us the White Claw.
Oh, that's probably
Probably one of our larger opponents.
It certainly can't be the white dragon.
Yeah, obviously not.
Technically, there's a blue and red dragon. So
Well, that's fair. But can he assume that that's the dragon?
you can make a good guess.
And
If you ask him, yes, it's a dragon.
Yeah,
The
so
blue
he
one
would just instead say, and the other one?
I don't know much more than that. The chief would know more.
He nods. He kind of just turns him by the shoulder and gestures up towards the mountains. We go.
He hesitates. He'll need a little bit more motivation.
I have not seen my people in many years. I would speak with your chief.
Roll persuasion.
Okay.
He stops and he's like, no. We've lost too many. I'm not gonna bring some traitor and outsiders to our camp.
There's an immediate low, bassy, like rumble. Doesn't have to move his mouth to growl. If I wanted to just kill my people, I would have hunted you. I do not trust the Southerners. I do not know what you're doing in the mountains, but I want to know. Last time, it nearly got us all killed. There are not enough left to keep drawing ire. The Frost Collier will hunt you. If you will not show me, I will find.
Roll intimidate. He's just like, then you will have to find it.
He nods. Not too stubborn. There's a fond twist to his lips for a moment. We follow their tracks back. Before they cover in snow.
Ursula kind of steps up and she says, we were sent to deal with them. So, what shall we do with these out here?
Take them.
Well, after you.
As I said, we have a cart. No, if it's too heavy, yeah. Then will toss one over his shoulder and another. He'll fucking take the hike. He'll do it.
It's more of the you guys are responsible for tying them up, so.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Oh, then, yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
That he can
While the others are tying up the sculling, Sebastian's gonna try to find their tracks. See if he can find any.
Okay, tracking or survival?
I will go survival.
do. Would Fenwith know enough with the animal handling to be able to basically, like, tell the wargs to follow the scent? That's like game scent, but...
You feel that it would be a struggle because they're not typically trained to hunt other sculling.
Nah, I meant like a scout ahead, like follow, or like scout home kind of thing, but that's fair.
They're not typically trained to do so.
I figured not.
I got a 204.
204. Okay. Their tracks are easy enough to find in the snow. What snow does make its way through the trees, mostly ices over, creating very definitive tracks that rarely get blown or covered, so.
And Fenwith and I guess Lexi, just a matter of keeping senses out.
Fair.
Sebastian's not gonna like lead the pack, but he'll be just guiding everyone.
He just floats above, just
There
to
it
the
is.
left.
There's another one.
Yeah, you point in the general direction.
Anastasia stays with the tied up people just to make sure they don't try to get out.
Okay.
They'll be out for a little bit. With some rockin' migraines when they wake up.
You travel until dark, and it becomes too hard to keep track of the tracks, unless you have Anastasia take the lead.
between your night vision and mine, can help lead on.
Yeah, he can make it work. If someone swaps out with him.
Alexei could take care of the prisoners.
What's your survival we're tracking Finn with? And what's yours, Anastasia?
Track is 40.
Track is 35.
Don't you have a higher survival?
No, it's a 30.
Okay. Alright. Well, then I guess Anastasia can help Finn with while you're trekking.
We can't all be freaks of nature, Alex. What's the bonus from Anas?
10.
Yeah, I saw that it was mirrored. It took me. I was like, 1? No. And he's using night vision and, if necessary, the light from the lantern. Catch the shine in the snow.
You travel for another hour or so before it just becomes too dark to really make out the difference. Unfortunately, even with your night vision, it doesn't give you depth perception, and the tracks in the snow become too hard to see.
Okay.
So you're all forced to make camp.
We keep a very close watch on all of our watches. For their own safety, they should not get out of whatever binds they're put in. Finwith's eyes just reflect in the dark. Same with the Nosses.
Yeah, Sebastian, if on watch, he would have a motion detection up. He can have it maintained at a 150-foot radius.
Okay. Sure. We'll have fun with this one. Sebastian, you notice one of them is jostling more than normal. What do you do?
He just kind of says out, like, towards the cart, just for your own safety, I would advise you to relax.
Okay. Jostling continues. Eventually, one of them seems to make more movements than a captured individual should.
He, as they're obviously coming free, organic psychokinesis takes him out of the cart.
You lift one of the men out of the car. He's like, "Ah!" As he's now floating in the air.
Puff's awake. Looks at somebody floating. Rolls over.
I don't have the means to bind you, so you'll have to stay there. As he keeps them floating in the air. And he continues his watch. He also makes sure they are motionless, so they are not kept up. Like, picked up by his motion sense.
Okay. So do you restrain him, I guess, at the same
Essentially,
time?
he cannot move.
Well, I believe you have a binds technique, don't you?
I have psychokinetic trap.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah. Then I can, oh man.
Trap him with your mind, it just drops him in the
Yeah,
snow.
I can maintain him at a strength of 10.
Yeah, he would have to struggle a lot.
He's gonna keep him floating there. He doesn't know how to tie knots very well, so he's going to when it's someone else's turn, pass him along.
I'd say a knots could make it even worse. I've got the shadow trap, so that makes it even better.
God, alright, you don't need to traumatize
You don't need
them.
to torture the guy.
Intimidate them, yes.
Well, if we don't want him getting out and he's already cut something, we may as well just bind him with whatever we got, so
I think he's learned a lesson.
Hopefully.
let's hope so.
Well, next person, what are you doing with this guy? Any of you can hop in. Cooperative story.
You have been taught how to tie nice braids. I can translate to some knot skill.
Alright, I guess Alexi will be the next one. As he walks up and notices the floating man and
As you are like switching out, I'm going to sleep. He broke free. I tied him up. And he just lays him down at your feet. And he walks over into his bedroll. I'll give you a minute before I drop it.
he'll begin tying him up and kind of like talking to men as well. He's like, as long as you keep calm, you should be able to make it to home safely. We plan on returning you all. And like finishes up the knot. If you continue to struggle, I can't promise you will be awake for the rest of the night.
Alrighty.
And then sets him back in the cart and kind of takes a point at like the front of the cart where the driver would sit and kind of like stands there with his sword like kind of planted.
Alright.
Watches over all of them.
The rest of the night goes without too much incident.
Oh yeah, how's the weather been since we've hit the bend up till now?
It's not too bad. Along your journey, it either ranges from quiet blue sky day to whipping winds and frost and sleet, but there hasn't been any major snows. It is getting into the end of the summer months, so that will probably start changing soon.
We just gotta leave before Sebastian keels over from the common cold.
But in the forest, especially in this area, even if it was windy, you would never know. So. The next day you all get up, continue on your journey. I would say you probably abandoned the cart pretty early into your trek because on the road is one thing. Taking that wagon through open forests is more arduous than it would, than it would probably be worth.
Fair.
So, beyond that, you eventually start getting close. And Finwith is the first to notice, despite probably not having the highest notice in the group. You start seeing the makings of a forest encampment. It doesn't look like much at first, but you start noticing fallen trees that are kind of like half propped up on another tree and thick brush around it. For your commoner or even a normal Galarian, this doesn't really look like much. But these forest obstacles were incredibly useful, especially when it comes to guerrilla warfare. It makes them incredibly hard to deal with because anyone who's not aware might run into a downed tree or get stopped by, a thicket in pursuit of a sculling, or even being herded in that direction by sculling to be stopped. So once you start seeing these telltale signs of sculling activity, you gather closer, and Alexi starts feeling like a large number of life forces as you get close. So if there's anything you want to do before approaching the camp. Actually, that's a good point. We are just over the 2-hour mark in. Why don't we go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break? We'll be back at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're enjoying this and you haven't done so already, please follow to see more amazing please follow or subscribe, because we're on YouTube now, to see more amazing content like this. We do Anima every Monday, or try to anyway, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you want to check up most of this campaign, unfortunately we did lose a few episodes to Twitch, you can check it out on the Bad Luck Gamer YouTube, where you can catch up to our now 48 episodes so far. That's a pretty impressive amount for a campaign, honestly. Some audio issues in the beginning, but it smooths out pretty early on, I promise. Also, if you want the chance to possibly game with any of us in the future, go ahead and join the Discord, either in the description or down below on Twitch, where I always recruit from my Discord first for any of my future games. We just started a new campaign with 5 players for Shadows That Laugh for our Friday game. And that's including new people who just jumped in and started watching us. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take that break.
I mean, no. Emotionally, yes. Physically.
Alrighty. So, we are back. Welcome, everyone. Now, not to have some family drama. You're all approaching the camp. So, hopefully, y'all spent the break wisely and decided on what you wanted to do.
Suzanne is working very hard at our tactics display, as you can see on the projector that she has on the wall.
We're gonna raid Galarian. We're gonna go to another world, show them what's up.
We will be using a vehicle of a ginormous black cat. That one fucking dragon that's like miles and miles long. Ain't shit. God, I forget its name. It starts with an A, and it's like something the black. It's the huge
dragon?
fucking Lord of the Rings dragon.
Oh.
No, Smog's
no.
Smog's itty bitty.
Oh.
Smog
a
is
tiny
itty bitty tiny
compared
dragon.
to-
The big boy is
It's
like
not Aldegast,
a mountain
is it?
range.
I can't remember.
I don't remember. I'm not that much of a Lord of the Rings buff, bud.
Where
Here,
Algazar-
regardless.
Yeah. Anyway.
Max.
Fuck.
Well, whatever role it is, Inas will follow everyone else's lead because this is one where he knows he has to take a backseat for it because this is Famlet's realm of knowledge more than anything else. So if anything, he'll just be the silent bodyguard just in case.
So, what he knows of the sculling, if they do go on the offensive when they show up, does he think that calling out a challenge for the chief, or something to that regard, would stop them?
No.
Because he's not recognized, so he probably can't just, like, throw that down.
Right. There's that, and also, like, it's not a question of, well, the schooling, we're definitely, like, survival of the fittest, the strongest lead. You must lead in order to contest. You must have some plan that you're the head of to take lead. If it was a small clan, sure, but this is equivalently the size of a very large clan now. You got no backers.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They'll start asking questions when you dunk this man and teabag his face, but they won't necessarily follow you after that.
No, that's what he's going for. Finwith is not a chief. As they get closer, though, he'll kind of fetch the one that he had spoken with before and take the bindings. Kind of looks to the others. We want to speak. Try to avoid an outright fight. But if so, he kind of just gestures at the whole gaggle of collected sculling, like, we'll kick their asses if we gotta. But he doesn't know enough going in to know how best to do it. This was never his wheelhouse. He does, though, look to the three in the party separately, kind of drawing some strength from each. Just knowing they're here makes him feel better. He's confident that no matter what happens, the four of them leave.
All right. Cutting his bindings, you push him out. He slips in the snow before running off to the camp.
And they'll continue after at a more measured pace with the rest of the collected sculling. The other 7 and the 2 wargs.
When you get to about this close, the wargs take off towards the camp. It takes a bit of time, and as you all are kind of like arriving, you see many of the schooling are kind of out and about, and they all seem like at the ready. And you see a group coming from what appears to be like their designated longhouse, as obviously the person who's the chief comes up, has the most garish display of tokens, and is in pretty good shape. An individual who just has like a hide vest and showing off their, muscular body, has some blue feathers kind of like in like a headband that he's wearing. And next to him, there are some warriors next to him that all look to be more formidable, and a much more elder individual who you would probably mistake for a shaman, despite being told that there are no shamans. As they all kind of approach, and many of the schooling are kind of getting up, and you all see, you're being faced off with by like 50 people or so.
Back to the Inquisitor fight again.
Yeah, pretty much. He steps up. He looks to you all, and in surprisingly good Latin speaks to you all. He says, "Why do you come here? We have no problem with you."
He kind of side glances at the Roscole for a moment. The people of Hoffman have problem with you. But I come for more. He kind of dips his head a bit. I'm Fenwick Gillenson. Rust Fangs.
What more do you come from, son of a lost clan?
Come from or come for?
Come for.
Okay.
Like, what more are you asking?
Yeah, you had said
us?
from, so I was just making sure.
Well, no, because he said son of a son of a lost clan. Yeah.
Okay.
What more did you come for?
I wanted to speak about the dragons and the Southerners. You are drawing eyes like we did before. The Frost Collier would hunt the last of us. I do not want that.
And he just looks down his nose at you and he says, "They can try. The Doombearer was a fool. He decided to fight all the clans of Goldar and failed horribly for it. These monster hunters are formidable, but they've never hunted the likes of dragons before. And unlike with the Doom Bear, we have two.
And you command both?
I do.
He looks him over. Does he seem to have any type of, like, fetishes that stand out or anything?
Nothing in particular that strikes you as, like, shamanly, if that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Can he see the Southerners anywhere?
No. No one here looks like a Southerner.
Okay. And then, looking at, like, the camp itself, are they just, like, packed out in a valley or something, or hollow?
It's a forest encampment. They have barricades made up of easy to tear down logs. And, schooling are traditionally nomadic in nature. These buildings do seem a lot more sedentary based, but you do see the trappings of buildings that can be easily dismantled if necessary.
Fuck, it's so hard when I'm not playing a face.
Can be rough.
No. It's not even just
Can
the points,
confirm.
it's just how the character is.
Sometimes you don't have the right character for the situation.
Yeah.
So it was an RPG game.
Yeah. There is like a moment though as they're speaking where he kind of like glances over him and then the rest of the encampment and gets a little caught up in the just familiar builds and such.
It brings up a welling of nostalgia that makes you want to weep.
Oh dear. Not actually. He finds himself stricken with missing Vartzi. As if his friend would just be standing amidst the group. As if others would be. And there's a moment where he just kind of checks over the what people he can see at an easier glance. Not sure if he wants to see familiar faces or not, but given the Lost Clan, he doubts it. Fuck, I just don't know how to word it. Ugh. And just as a reminder, especially to as Alexi, like this is also like a Frostcaldair mission, so I know that you'll be like kind of like letting Finwith take lead on it. But this is like your people who are threatened by them, so I don't want you to feel like I'll be upset if you like step in at any point.
Okay, I wasn't sure if Finwith would want to get their case out there first, or if we were hitting them with two fronts or not. So.
It really depends, but like Finwith is not in a norm. Like Alexi knows him well enough and knows people well enough with his leadership fucking skills, and he knows Finwith is not the leader type. He's the heart of a group. There's a reason that like the shaman rank fits him beyond the magic, and he's more in here than he is up here and with the speaking.
That's fair.
He doesn't like to like be all domineering and like steamroll stuff unless he's just fucking around for funsies.
Alexi, kind of seeing Finwith struggle a bit, does step up. Goes,
You know him well enough to see that he gets like a little caught off guard by like just all of it at once.
And walking up, he goes, "You say that your old chief was a fool for trying to take on all the clans at once. So you decide to fight all of Hoffman at once? I mean, you have Second Dragon, yes. But you're really just doing the same plan, it seems. Or possibly following somebody else's plan.
You don't know what you speak of, warrior. I would step down before you say something imprudent.
He kind of mulls on it for a moment. How did the Southerners get the dragon? Why
That
do you
is
trust
not-
them?
Roll persuasion. Okay.
I rolled
It's
two
not
50s,
like
a 10,
these
and a...
dragons don't come from our lands. The Southerners just knew how to wake them. That is all.
And you trust the occult, the shamans of Southerners?
Why wouldn't we? It's produced results.
Because the Southerners don't care about us? What do they
You're
want
missing
from us?
the point. There are dragons. There's nothing left to distrust. Unless you forgot the history of our people.
He straightens up. Yes. No. That I was taught.
Then you know that the dragons aided our people long ago.
We learn from them like we do anything else. But they are not immortal. He has to kind of swap back into the heavy Goldarian form. And if the Southerners know how to find and wake dragons, how do they not know more?
What
There's a
does this
reason their
matter?
church hunts them. Because the end times are coming, and I am not sure the sculling will remain. If we keep making enemies, the dragons will draw more fight. We have been lost to a plan that we could not see before. The dragon wasn't even fought before. They didn't have to kill it.
I don't need to tell any of this to an outsider, much less a traitor who walks with our enemies.
He
The
takes a
dragons are here. There are less clans in the north than there are in Goldar. And we've already been making much progress. You all speak of nothing of import because you don't know, which only shows how little you belong here. Rustfang. Sebastian, insight.
All right. I'm going to use my touch my destiny effect.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
Please roll better.
Oh, thank you for that encouragement, Vale.
You're
Give me a
welcome.
second. I must roll again.
Aha!
Okay.
The duality of Anima.
It's better than the 7.
I send you many anti-Astrid energies.
Oh, you know what the best part is? I rolled a 97 this time.
You will roll over a 20. You will roll double digits.
282.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. Impossibly.
While this whole conversation is happening, Sebastian, as you always do, you're breaking down this man to his base components, finding out the way what makes him tick, as it were. Standard issue for you, of course. Especially helpful when it comes to making tactics. This man has an incredible amount of pride. He has some insecurities when it comes to his authority, probably due to the lack of authority the Blue Feathers have had in the past, or at least so you've heard. He will be extremely resistant of letting that authority go, and thus he won't be listening to other people who he doesn't believe is going to help him. Them leaving here would only hurt them, even if it would be the more rational thing. There's also something that your allies are not recognizing about the situation. While Hoffman, yes, is formidable in its own way, what makes Hoffman harder to deal with is the inaccessibility of the lands and the, most of their cities are mounted on, big mountains, large walls, and everything like that. Unfortunately, in the case of dragons, Hoffman's greatest strengths are its greatest weakness. Because if a dragon were to bombard a city in fire, the people have nowhere to go. And because Hoffman has a lot lesser population, and because the dragons have aerial superiority in a city with cities built on mountains, the schooling have a very strong ace up their sleeve. It is not infeasible that even with 60 people or so, they could take a large city with the help of dragons. In a similar way as to these guys probably have no chance of beating you all, these cities have no chances of beating a dragon, no matter how many people are thrown at them. And not only that, but the Frost Collier, while they are powerful, they don't number much more than maybe a couple hundred. And they can't be everywhere at once, while these dragons can cover massive amounts of territory. So, to recap, the schooling have the ability to handle most threats if they have the use of these dragons, as this man claims. He's reluctant to give away his power. He's not willing to listen to anyone else, especially ones who are only talking about negatives or don't do this, don't do that, not providing anything better, not giving him better opportunities. And there's another quality that you don't quite see. They have some other information. Almost as if they have an even stronger card up their sleeve than just the dragons. His confidence speaks as much.
Did we pass out the earrings at all?
We never specified.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't remember who had them last from the lab venture.
I remember Sebastian usually has one, but
I'll mark this stuff down in your character
Yeah.
sheets, everyone.
it's true.
No, Anastasia had it on him. He was supposed to give it to Alexei for the meeting and forgot. So Anastasia still has it in his pocket.
Okay.
happens.
Just stands behind Finwith and whispers. Shame you didn't take.
Don't forget, you
telepathy.
also have the ability to pick. Oh wait, you don't have access to the tree. Never mind.
With which one?
Psychic, telepathy.
Telepathy, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The most he can do is he could psychokinetically move an earring like from Anastasia into like onto Alexi or Finwood.
I mean, even if you straight up just openly hand Finn with an earring to put on, no one else is gonna fucking know what that means.
That's fair. Then he just kind of goes over to Anastasia and just give Finwood the earring.
He does so, just pulling out of the pocket, holding it for Finwith, obscuring it by his fingers so the so-called chieftain doesn't visibly see what's in his hand.
He takes it confused for just a moment before he...
And Sebastian's already putting it on.
As Alexi's speaking.
And he is he relays to you the information that he just got, just going he's not going to give up any of this power. He's in a great position here with these dragons. Even more, he might have something better. Just where we are currently, him and those dragons could possibly take over any city in Hoffman. There's no reason he would ever want to give that up.
Because it's not that they have to leave where they are, like the double blind. It's the raids gather problems, and the fact that they have dragons attacking people's stuff. Yeah, you gotta get over the hurdle of, yeah, but I could use dragons for warfare, so why wouldn't I?
You touched upon an interesting point. How long have they been here? How long have they had two dragons? Why do they have no cities yet?
Yeah, they haven't made a move. And Finwith still has that, that concern in the back of what's sealed here, what's sealed here, what's sealed here somewhere, into the world coming. It's just like this. It's like the worst case scenario he can imagine is like, oh hey, it's Ragnarok, time to pop free school. Or even worse, another dragon. Just a whole bunch of dragons.
Anastasia steps back and whispers, "If we wish to retreat, I can always try to investigate during the night. Take a look around in the mist, see if I can find anything." Low in a voice that only Sebastian can hear it.
Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
Well, come on, or are we just gonna stand here all day and look pretty? He smiles, and many of the men around him kind of chuckle, at your expense.
Doesn't seem to bother Finwood much. He's still rankling a little bit on the outside or on the inside, but is more concerned with the grand scheme of the situation to give a shit about their senses of humor. Imagine having that thin of skin as a Viking. He does kind of they're far enough away that he can say shit under his breath without being overheard, yeah?
Yeah, they're not gonna be standing.
Yeah, no, I
so.
figured no. Then he'll shorthand give some of Sebastian's tips. Too prideful. We won't give it up. dragons can take any city and have them.
And Alexia, you know that they have the earrings on. You can see the magical aura emanating off both of their heads. So
Fair.
You won't hear anything that would hurt the scholar. Only things that would help. Things that make him the greatest chief. They said that they captured a shaman. They're probably inside one of the buildings, I would imagine. But like when he's looking over to see anything that stands out.
no, they've stopped you pretty much at the gates of the settlement.
Okay.
So you need to actually go in if you want to find anything like that.
Fuck. Finwith, please.
We still have, in a sense, prisoners to trade if we need to get the shaman out. Because if that's who I think it might be, we may want to just exchange and get out of here and regroup.
There's no way that they have Golan.
Never know. If anything, a shaman that's been captured is probably more willing to help us.
Literally anything's possible in Anima. They can easily have Golan. They're in the area. Like, Skogenjäger is not far from Muldenheim.
Alright. Lexi goes. We have heard from your comrades that you have recently captured a shaman, yes?
Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. That's no business of yours.
It might be.
You get to threaten a hostage situation.
Perhaps.
Do a trade.
Would you be willing to trade them for your comrades over here?
His eyes dart across the ones you've captured. He seems to really think about it pretty seriously. Make persuasion.
Do I want to dig a knife or not?
Are you about to call him a sorry chief if he doesn't take his people back?
More like a chief that isn't looking out for their people, sort of thing. But I don't know if I want to dig that knife. I'm not gonna.
Might be if he. I mean, he is considering it. So if he turns it down, there's always that. It's not like there's a lot of sculling left. Like,
Yeah.
7 people normally wouldn't be a huge thing, but like that's a whole party right there.
That's
I will say persuasion 101. If someone's already considering your deal, do not antagonize them.
Especially if he's like super prideful. Let's just mention so.
Your character
You
has
take the
enough
knife if
persuasion to know.
intimidating.
I rolled a 69.
Nice.
But that comes to a grand total of 229.
Okay. He mulls it over and he looks to his group. The older individual speaks to him and he makes a bit of a grimace. And he looks over your group. Fine, on one condition.
just a huff of steam from the half-bear shape.
And what would that be?
Once you take a hostage, you come here, you leave, and be done with your business. They say the wisdom of one shaman can last 3 generations.
Looks him over in particular, and over to the man he was talking to. Kind of thinks, stroking his beard.
Finwood kind of lowers his voice some. It looks like a shaman, but they say they have an esteemed elder, maybe? A chief from before? They normally don't live so long.
Probs.
Stop, Scratchberry.
What?
The sound of rasping facial hair is unpleasant.
Fair.
You don't need to flex. We know that Finwood is clean shaven. He can't grow a beard to save his fucking life. Not that it would be impressive since he's a redhead, eh, Cameron?
I mean, this is all I got. Anything more and I just look terrible.
With a larger force, he doesn't seem to want to fight us on a prisoner trade.
I mean, we caught all the people in the first place, and maybe the Elder can tell how strong we are. Not sure.
Which is possible that none of the dragon controllers are here.
And he said he has control of the dragons.
He says a lot of things.
He does say other things.
Be right back. Oh. Ah, no, I can pick that up later. I swear.
Did your food get delivered?
Pretty much.
I don't know. Did I guess it depends if Sebastian's insight covered whether he seemed to be lying or not.
What I've noticed?
You can make a roll for it. It's not what you're looking for before.
That's true. Not bad. 187.
It feels like a strong half-truth.
He would mention that to Finn with him.
He gets it. He doesn't quite have control. Not enough to be firm about it. Maybe the Southerners haven't let him have some. Maybe they don't always listen.
Turning to Finwith. Conversing with him. There's probably a good chance that the ones that control the dragons are on the mission. He might just have leadership over them. Bullets. I can't be sure. He doesn't want to fight us with superior numbers, which I assume is coming from the captured one that we sent to them.
Sebastian, you'd recognize that the Skulling, while being, confident, they probably don't want any losses as much as possible. They're not holding back.
60-something left.
They're not holding back because they don't think they can take you. They're holding back because losses are more detrimental to them than dealing with you.
Like predators.
Mentions this as well. This time, instead of using the earring, he moves a bit closer to the to Finwith and Alexei. Sounds like they have no interest in fighting us at all. The risk of losing numbers would be devastating for them.
Just because we can't take it doesn't mean that we have to. They have enough to survive. We cannot say our business is over. So long as there are raids, our business is not done.
Exactly. Is there a preferred way you'd like to handle this?
He just huffs. It's another curl of steam around his face. You can see him kind of gnaw away the grinding you can hear from the larger bear fangs. It is difficult. If we fight them, the sculling will most likely die out, even if some escape. If the dragons arrive, they will not be under command anymore. Not by us. Not by him. By the Southerners, if anything. Worse, both Hoffman and the sculling will be weak. If Ragnarok comes, as difficult as we can be, I would want the sculling to be in the fight. Not all of them are raiders. The Blue Feathers were weak amongst clans because they did not raid. They've lived that life before. We're weaker because of it. But Skull and Bird was caused by the change. Seeing things as because we can't take, we should. It is no less hurtful than overhunting. You take more than you need, there is nothing left. Only yourselves. Sculling do not turn on each other.
Okay.
And if that helps your social acumen or his tactics, Godspeed to you both. Finwith can only advise, unfortunately. That's kind of just his role anyway. He has the insight into it, but he hasn't the heart to lead.
You see the old man kind of whisper up to Torsten again. Kind of gets a wry smile. And he says, "Well, you don't seem confident enough to take our bargain. So, I guess we'll just have to leave it as is."
Not true. Stretches. Looks over him.
And Sebastian, due to your earlier role, you recognize this is a social manipulation. If he threatens to close the deal, he's preventing you guys from talking about it any further.
It's not like they can force us to stop talking unless they throw fists. They can't do that.
No. You believe he's likely to now just send everyone into the village. If you guys want to stop them, you'll have to attack them. And that puts you guys in a very bad spot.
Brings this up to Alexei. He's doing the full-on, just facing another direction, whispering into Alexei's ear, essentially.
Alexei gets a big smile across his face.
There's just a small line from Finwith at that. Like, I don't know what you guys have thinking in there. Come on.
I have possible more better solution. Mutually beneficial. If you are willing to hear it.
We've been waiting this whole time.
Fair enough. These southerners, they knew how to awaken dragons, yes?
No, we're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about the bargain you offered earlier. We're doing that, or we're going to go back into our camp.
Leaving prisoners behind. That is, unfortunate. One would think a leader would
No,
try their best to
we're
help
not
their
dealing
others.
this. You took too long to offer.
Finwith just slowly.
He turns to them all. You want the shaman? You want to come get him. Warriors who are too weak to and got captured are no use to us anyway.
Looks at the prisoners.
They all look stalwart.
Finwith warned you guys.
You feel that you either agree to the bargain now, or you offer them something they can't refuse. But no more talking, no more dilly-dallying, no more bargaining.
Don't have a whole lot to offer. Unless we know for sure that, like, if the Southerners have some type of control that they can usurp from under the chief, to be able to get rid of the Southerners for them while keeping the dragons is one thing. Can offer the cart full of armor and weapons. That just makes the sculling tougher, but the dragons are kind of the linchpin on that anyway. But, like, this territory they need, so it can't be a matter of them moving unless you have some better place where there's nobody around, which doesn't really happen very often. And the fact that they found somewhere as isolated as Hoffman is only possible because we're in a fucking fantasy world that's in the medieval era, except for Diddlecart. So it has to be the resources, or I mean, if we knew the actual relationship between him and the Southerners, that would be different. Because if they're actual allies, we have nothing there. If they're a problem, like, Finwith doesn't fucking trust Southerners. Like, you guys, he knows, but a bunch of fucking Southerners up in Hoffman that know too much about the mountains and know how to wake dragons, that screams fucked up occult shit. Like, you saw what happened in Moth. These people are fucking crazy. They got creepy, like, vampire wizard dens and shit. Now they're gonna have creepy dragon wizard dens. So, with that kind of low back and forth, he does kind of look to Sebastian too, because he has a bunch of insight on this guy already, and all the tactics of it.
You guys have to make a deal right now. No
Yeah.
talking. They've cornered you in the conversation, unfortunately.
We will accept your trade.
He stopped. And he's like, alright. Send the men over.
Let me see, prisoner.
We've already offered to lose those men. You think we won't do it now? Send them over.
Just kind of whispers, just to let him do it. If it's so important, we can just walk in and take him.
Finwith begins to accumulate.
They're not able to stop us.
Looks over. Release prisoners.
Ursula will go over and untie the men. They walk over. Torsten seems to turn to one of the stronger fighters next to him. He makes a motion. The old man seems to say something with a slightly disgruntled look, and he just hushes him silently. After a few minutes, you see them bringing over the individual, a larger man, as it's Golan. They bring over, kicking him out. He slides.
Finwood begins to walk that way. The lumbering bear shape.
Now leave. And they all turn to enter into their encampment.
Does Golan seem in okay repair?
He's not in great condition. He's much thinner than you remember him. And he seems to be exhausted.
He very gently will reach out into the snow and kind of turn him over and leverage him up in both arms. Oh, Golden. Getting yourself into trouble.
I'm sorry.
What happened?
I've been working tirelessly to do my mission. I ran into a nasty group of the Frostbitten. I expended all my power, and then I had the great misfortune of running into the Sculling a month back.
How did they keep you?
In a cage. I've
Your
been
magic could
somewhat
not save you.
starved, and they wouldn't let me sleep properly.
He wants that. The Southerners that are with them. The dragons. Do you know anything?
A little bit. Although... Is my brother not with you all? You can see he's got big bags under his eyes, and he looks like he's on death's doorstep. He's not in good condition.
Wait, we have Golan or Olin?
Golan's
Golan's the
big
original
one.
brother.
Okay.
Younger.
Olin's
Olin's
the thin beanpole one that, has been helping you up
The
until
arm.
this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's fair. I got their shapes mixed up.
It's okay. I believe they have pictures in the Roll20.
That's why I was so worried when I was at Solve. I was just like, oh my god, they got him from the temple and brought him all the way here in a month.
No.
No.
But fair.
Well, the other brother's also much stronger, so Olin probably would have fucked them up.
Well, to be fair,
He's not,
Golan
like, crazy
probably would have done better if he had.
Yeah, that's why Finn would
expended
ask,
his magic.
like, how the fuck did they even keep you, though? Like, they don't have a shaman.
He just was not able to rest.
Can't
so-
recover Sion. Yeah.
No.
It is alright. You'll get good rest from us. You can rest assured that your brother is
Olin is fine. He had to take the temple back. With the dragons, we had to be careful. Let us make camp.
He nods.
Actually. Do we still have any of the potions to give him a dose if he's looking that bad?
We do.
Or does he just look like starving, edge of death?
He's exhausted.
Okay.
So
if he just goes the fuck to sleep and gets food and water, he should be fine.
He should be
if
good
they-
in a couple days.
Okay.
If he gets properly fed. Realistically speaking, he should be messed up for much longer than that, but game mechanic wise, he'll be better in a couple days. So
It's fine. It's magic. He will kind of look to Sebastian though. Wherever we make camp, it has to be hidden from the dragons. If he can call them back knowing we are near, they might be sent after us. If we can make something in the side of one of the mountains, maybe.
I can set that up.
Then we go back. Wait till he is better. So we know more. And us, if you think you can go through your shadows and find anything out. You are sneakier than all of us.
Again. I'll have some questions for you about how a camp's set up, though, so I have an idea of the layout, so I know what to look for.
Can come back later. Come with us now. Just in case.
All right. And with that, we'll end the session for the day.
That went exactly as smoothly as I thought it would.
Yep.
I.e., not at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're just not going to let you sit there and talk the whole time. And they have a feeling that you didn't want to fight them as much as they didn't want to fight you. For whatever reasons that may be.
Yeah, they're not aware that, like, the only reason we didn't just, like, murder them all, like, finding their groups and just taking them out, like, number by number, is because Finn was like, hey, can we not genocide the last of my people? Like, I know they got it twisted at the moment, but, like, we might be able to fix this, and if not, then I guess we just actually have to kill them all.
Strangely, they're using themselves as hostages against you. It's very
strange.
strange.
They don't even understand the depths of what they're doing.
It's very interesting. Unfortunately, this is just one of those scenarios where players are not necessarily the best
We have
negotiators.
hang-ups and attachments and a weird set of characters.
Well, it's not like only that. It's literally just this, like, actual skills and talking are very, very different. And also, Torsten seemingly had someone on his side who was savvy, at least in the art of negotiation. So, but who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just glad that they were smart enough to send Golan out, because if not, there was about to be a 20-foot something bear cleave attacking his way through a camp. That would have been very unpleasant.
It's mostly on their behalf as well. They also don't want unnecessary casualties.
Yeah, I know that they don't. I'm just saying,
so,
I hope that guy was very clear when he ran back and was like, hey, yo, so we got jumped when we jumped people. They're all really strong, and one of them turned into a 20-foot bear and, like, in my face. So, like, let's not. Let's try not.
They were willing to even negotiate with you in the first place. So
They just don't understand that when he's
10 times smaller than theirs, and they let you have, like, a power in negotiation. So
yeah. Now they're aware, though, that the 20-foot bear also has the softest heart this side of the inner sea.
It's fair.
And is just baby.
It must be rough. But, I mean, it wasn't bad. You didn't have a negative outcome, I would say. But
we got Golan before they get starved to death.
Yeah, but they definitely had the advantage in that conversation, and there's just a lot that you guys don't know, you know, about what's going on. And unfortunately, I don't want to tell you all the answers. I can only tell you what your characters would know given the circumstances and power sets.
It's already awkward, like, because, like, Finwith has, like, connected some dots that he's really not comfortable with the Southerner stuff anyway. Especially given, like, the weird occult knowledge that he's gained while traveling. And just, in general, like, why the fuck are you guys here? And why the fuck would you care about what the Skulling are up to? Meanwhile, I know some of the campaign background from the Dragon before. That, like, Southerners were involved with that, too. And so it's just like, I have to set that off to the side so Finwith can't call them out and be like, listen, Southerners got us fucked up the first time handing someone a dragon. You got handed a dragon too. What makes you think? Like, they're using us for something. There's no way they're not. What the fuck? What deal have you made? Are you not good enough on your own? No?
Yeah, see,
Rob was-
poking at their pride does absolutely nothing because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah. So it's
You
just
know, they're using anything, any advantage. Like anyone who suddenly gains power, he feels like he's got the cards, and he feels like, I'm not being used. I'm using them. They gave me dragons. What could I possibly force me to do? So, yeah, unfortunately, it's just also the ramifications of like, you guys may know, like, narratively what will probably happen to these people, but try explaining this to, like, I guess here's a good example. People who follow Trump, right? Everyone knows it's a terrible idea, but there's people who will literally die for that man. Not to be overly political, but
I
if
think
you
that's
voted
the
for Trump, you
baseline
shouldn't be
political
here.
anyone can be.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's just gonna be Finwitz like picks up Anas. Hey, can you do me a huge favor and like work miracles? Find out what the Southerners are doing. We'll listen to Golan, and then you just go snook around in like somebody's shadow until you find out literally anything. Please, and cry. He's just like that, like the sad sobbing cat meme picture in the background, like.
It's gonna be our best way to find out information.
Finwith's whole life is just a whole series of like confidence checks, just constantly putting him back down on the back foot. Gets a little ahead, and then it's just like, I'll never be my father.
Sag. All right, let's do experience, shall we? Even though I've contemplated just turning experience off at this point. You're all strong enough.
Come on, you have to give me something for the emotional distress completely locking down my character's ability
You
to
literally
like,
auto-battled through the last two scenarios.
Well, I mean, I just want to level up tactics more. So
Yeah, everyone wants to level up more. Who
Yeah,
cares?
so keep doing it,
Everyone
you know?
does.
I do. Keep giving us XP.
it's gonna take him forever to give me 320. So if you turn it off, like it's not a big deal. I hit 12.
I'm like halfway there.
Jesus.
I'm halfway to 12.
All right. Anywho, let's do experience. Interpretation for being here. I think that there's some good character moments. I think that this session kind of brought into perspective a lot of people's orientation on what you're going to be doing here. I'll give everyone 10 XP. 3 XP for being here. Difficult action. No, there was no difficult actions this session. To the point where we even just hand-waved rolling dice. Good ideas or plans. Yes, getting Golan back was a good idea. So I'll give you all 5 XP for that.
We need some insider info. Quick, man. Drink some soup.
Combat awards. You get 0 XP for the combat because it was too easy.
Yeah. I finally got to command puppies, though.
That's true. So no damage dealt, no damage taken. The face award. That's a hard. It's really, really close. I think it goes to Finwith slightly. Alexi was doing really well in this last conversation, but Finwith aided in this conversation and with negotiating with the prisoners in the first place. So, utility award goes to Sebastian. Your strong use of skills, tracking, and negotiation, or at least
And
like
grab a guy.
insight, and grab a guy. Yeah. Very, very handy. The pity award, Anastasia, unfortunately. There's not really much your character offers in social or like utility situations. So
You can offer a hug, and we'll accept it.
next session, I think Anastasia will be a lot more helpful.
That's okay. I'll just make up for it by creating the completely opposite character. Great for all social situations. Shit at combat.
Combat starts. On my turn, I would like to run.
I've had a character like that before.
Yep.
Alrighty, player nominations and or kudos.
Thank you for putting up with Finwith going, I can do this. I can do this. Looks at everybody. I cannot do this. Holy shit. Sorry, I am deep in the nostalgia train and also, like, confirmed right on this is going to be really difficult. I want to lay down and cry, but cannot.
Got so stressed I didn't even use some of the stuff we discussed back at the start of our journey.
Man's distraught.
I did love the like looking at everybody for confidence and kind of him stealing himself and then actually trying and trying to put himself out there. I think that was a lot for Finwith, honestly.
Very good at playing up like how nervous and anxious they are in this situation, like how hard it is for them too. It was like super well done.
I will say, Vale, phenomenal this session. Because not only did you do the hard role play of just in general, just being like really putting everyone in Finwith's shoes, I think is very relatable. But you did, I think, one of the hardest things any role player can do, which was you talked yourself up, you were getting ready to handle a situation, and then you just had to back out because your character was not capable of doing it. And that's a very real situation for, I think, a lot of people. That's a very organic scene, and I think having to fall back on your friends in that situation is just something that is really well done. So take a player award for sure.
Thank you. And thank you all for stepping up to help. And us passing off the earring, tactics from Sebastian, words from Alexi.
You know,
The immediate, like, all right, Finwood's doing this. Finwood takes a singular step back, and everybody just kind of, like, closes rings. So,
I
it was
think
good on
everyone else deserves good teamwork awards for this session in your various forms of support, emotional or mechanical.
Sebastian. I don't know why, but the scene of like, stop moving. The guy continues going, and you see him kind of get loose, and then just holding him there is such a power move. It was so funny to me.
I'm not good with knots. You'll be up there for a while. Just holds.
I loved it.
You know what?
Yes.
Forgetting to live out your psychic power fantasy. Take a player award.
To add a little detail to the little telekinetic power fantasy, he wasn't looking in his direction the entire time. He was just doing his own thing. I love telekinetics. I love the telekinesis stuff in Anima. It's so good. More tabletops should have it. It's so much fun.
The worst part is that Sebastian is such, like, a dry character himself, like, when it comes to his interactions with people, like, intentional. That it makes the funny shit, like, what would be a bit for other characters with, like, the intent to be funny or to be a flex or whatever, because it's just so casual and without, like, any real thought to the other person from Sebastian, that it just always ends up so fucking funny because it's always, like, slightly demented, like, this bitch is just cold as hell.
That's the fun of playing Sebastian. I really like describing him doing outright weird shit with his powers, but he's like, why wouldn't I do it this way? This makes sense. Why would I just...
Like, the contrary of him just seeing it as, like, a normal, logical thing versus him just doing some wild-ass shit. Like, he grabbed a man with his head. With his mind, he grabbed a man and then just held him there all night until somebody else came and got his ass. It's just, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Which leads to him being a comedic relief without him being a comedic relief character.
That's such a fun role. I love that. It's such a
It's like your version of like me playing the morose face with Vernalis of like someone who's like really quiet and kind of melancholy, who isn't very, aggressive or at the forefront or anything, but is still like a really charismatic character in a roundabout way. It's like your version of, well, I want to be comedic relief because I'm always comedic relief, but how do I do it with a stone-faced asshole who is basically a calculator?
It is an excellent
Revenge
challenge each session. It is a delight.
He's a fucking T80 with a revenge quest.
Yeah.
That's it.
Any other player nominations in Arcudos?
I gotta say, Alexi, the description of you just taking dudes down, like, I can't use my sword, even non-lethally, it'll kill them. I'm just gonna throw hands. That was very fun.
I figured a 40 base damage is more livable than a 170. So
I would agree.
You know what? For having that power fantasy of being too strong to even non-lethally attack people, take a player award. And for Finwitz for finally being the ultimate Beastmaster in a contest of Beastmasters. I don't know, that's been a power fantasy coming up in the works. Take a player award for that.
They don't even have a shaman. He's T-posing on all of them.
I would also like to point out the edgelord fantasy of nothing personnel killing a bunch of people.
You did
Which
do the nothing
Anastasia did.
personnel.
It was fantastic.
I can be your angle or your devil.
Ever since the you noticed it when I made a joke about it this session. Ever since the lab, I cannot stop picturing Anastasia doing a full baseball wind-up, just throwing people hundreds of feet with their sword. It is endlessly entertaining to me. Just imagining that, like, ever since you did that with, like, when you were in mental, like, just insane from that thing, just, oh, that's actually really effective. I'm gonna start doing that.
I mean, that was like in the tournament and like the mass combat thing. Like there were people flying everywhere because Nos was like ping-ponging them around, and you were ping-ponging them around with your repulsive shield. So, like, there's just tons of like little Team Rocket sparkles.
Character solidarity for high knockback. Let's do that.
The fucking Inquisitors, when Finwith was doing it and just throwing their asses into the woods.
Throwing them out of combat effectively.
Yeah, it's like, this fight will be over before you get back here. Your movement's not high enough.
For Anastasia, for playing the somehow agile juggernaut teleporting knockback build.
He's literally just a Dark Souls boss.
He really
He's a vampire that shows up in this grim, dark, dragon-scaled black armor with a giant fucking sword, is stupid fucking fast, has like this weird pattern, can occasionally do this weird shadow-like move. He's a Dark Souls boss.
You know what? Yeah, that's a better award. Take a player award for being a Dark Souls boss.
It's that or like a Dark Souls character. Like, for all we know, after the campaign ends, one of us will like surprise visit Anastasia's manor. They've made a bunch of weird orders from some masons. We find them just dodge rolling through pots, like all laid all throughout their home. Just
the
like
worst.
I'm just going to get a soundboard thing where I'm going to press it every time Anastasia takes a turn. I'm just going to hold it, and it's just going to be one of the Dark Souls boss themes. It's just like, it's just normal music, and then Anastasia's turn is like,
You know what's the worst part is Anastasia is going to be that boss that's in the battle arena where there's a drop off the edge. So, like, if they hit you, there's a chance you'll just fall and die anyway.
And from playing Dark Souls, you know, if the bosses you got to worry for are the ones that are your size.
Yes.
That's the ones you got to worry about.
What's even worse is that if you like bait him off the edge, he still warps back up onto the stage.
He comes out of your shadow and like insta kills you, so you learn not to try and abuse that tactic real quick. But like it's really funny too because it's like weird fucking redhead with like black veins, looks like fucking 14, and you're like, who the fuck's this kid? Puts on the helmet, suddenly the health bar appears below. You're like, looks behind you, the wall of mist. And you're like, oh god, what the fuck? I hope Lauren is like stupid proud of you.
What's gonna make it even better is he's gonna hit a point where Lauren's like, you know what, we're not fighting the Inquisitors, go do it yourself, just go.
Just go handle it. I'm not putting 2 people on route, you can handle it by yourself. The worst thing that's gonna happen is you get bored. And then you'll probably just like stoop on a gargoyle on the edge of some building for a couple hours and feel better about yourself, Batman.
I honestly can't think of a bigger compliment to give a player than you're now a Dark Souls boss.
Souls boss?
It's like a legitimate, like, man, that's so cool!
Welcome to Anima.
If anything's a terrifying pair I've noticed, it's Anastasia paired with Sebastian, just because of that entire scene with the ice kid. That was just terrifying as hell.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking horrifying. Because, I mean, Anas is like a straight, like, martial master. If it requires physicality of body or weapon, he's got it on lock. Your ass is grass, plus shadow. And then you have Sebastian, who is psychic, never met anything that isn't a dump stat besides that. So the 2 of them are just masters in their fields, and if you're good against martial characters, oh no, you have a psychic to deal with, who is now not only dangerous to you, but is fucking you over so that you are now having to worry about the melee fighter. And if you're good with psychics, or like long distance, doesn't matter, some dude just appeared behind you with oh my wa, and then cut you in half. You didn't even get to do the nani. It is a very terrifying duo. Finwith is just you don't want to meet in a dark alley. If he's in any of the shapes. The centipede especially. Not just because it killed Sebastian, but just because it's a fucking horrific Buckman.
These 4 characters in general are just terrifying. You don't want these characters to be the villains ever because you'll have to go up against them at some point and know they'll hand your ass to you.
And then you're a fucking idiot because you look at the 3 of them and go, you know what, I'll take that guy. He looks normal. And then he goes, I'm a multi-attack build. And they go, oh fuck. And then they get melted. Game over. And then he laughs over your corpse and says you put up a good fight. Or, disappointing. Shame.
Hello.
All 4 of these characters are a goddamn nightmare for a very different reason.
True.
Unfortunately, we're social trash. I wish we could just murder Hopo. I wish we could just murder her with a sculling, but it's going to require a forced hand for that.
It's all good.
As for player kiddos, the entire Ragnarok scene, we're like, oh yeah, the world's ending in about 20 years. Might want to get the Frost Collier ready.
They gotta know.
There's record scratch. Both of the Frost Collier look at Finwith. What? Oh yeah, no, the world's ending. Dice roll in the background. Both of them. Oh, the world's ending.
Mamir's like, 20 years. Well, that's out of my wheelhouse.
You kids are on your own.
Good luck, everyone else.
He doesn't have to worry about dying fighting dragons. The real fight he won't have to bother lifting a finger for. He is too old for Ragnarok. We can speed it up if he wants to take part.
All
How do we
right.
help
Phase
this?
3 right away. Hope you all have your epic characters for the level 11 plus campaign.
Well, seeing as I have a 10 and a 12.
I have 1 character for that.
Is Jacques 10 or 11?
I
What
think
did we
he's
get to?
11, because I think we leveled up by the end of it.
Well, I should say the whole point of the epic campaign is not necessarily a character who's at that level.
Oh, yeah,
Is-
you'd have to have a good build too, because level doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah, a
And you're gonna have the
character
equipment and allies.
you're bringing who can survive.
Yeah.
Level 15 plus.
Survive? Well,
we
great
made it-
news. I have a lot of help.
We made it to level 9 if you have no modifiers.
Though, to be honest, any final thing, at least where I stand currently, Sebastian's coming back for any for the apocalypse end campaign. He's gonna be there. He's got so much shit he's doing. Like, I've messaged Cameron like a few things, like, all right, I have a lot of plans for Sebastian post campaign. Like, it's very fun playing a schemy character. It's a very new type of thing. And also, I love Sebastian. Like, I've mentioned before, he is out of the two characters, he's one of the two most favorite tabletop characters I've ever played. So I'm going to play him again.
I wonder what the other is.
Yeah, I wonder. I did mention it last Friday. I love Sebastian too much. I have too much planned for him. I mean, I'm gonna be playing his fucking brother, like, down the line. That's not something I'd throw around. I don't like playing characters that are connected to other characters unless there's a good reason or a good joke.
And great news. Doc would be level 9, but Cameron's an asshole and didn't give me the one experience point he needed.
That's true. Yes.
Which is kind of just karma for Jacques anyway. Like, this is just how his life is. This isn't his life. He's just living in it.
You're gonna successfully describe something to Arthur, and you're gonna level up, and you're gonna be cursed knowing that explaining something to Arthur leveled you up.
Well, no, because Arthur
for the rest
ditched.
of your life.
So here's what's actually going to happen. He's going to insult one of the Amoros while he's at, like, a fucking thing, like, bothered into by Radovan, and level up off of insulting one of those bitches. It's just going to be so catty. He just goes home and is like, I have ascended.
All right.
And then he'll take age control. Actually, that's funny because that's what I was waiting for. I was going to take age control when I leveled up and had the extra martial knowledge. So that means that when he levels up in Rosencrantz, if it's being petty at vampires, he takes age control at the same time just so he can live to keep doing it.
He finds that he feeds on spite.
I mean, like, Arthur explained how Key works in, like, a phenomenally frustrating way, but combined with how other people were talking about it and the fucking creepy scion of rot shit, at this point, he's like, okay. It's clearly another system in your body. I know how to use it. I've been getting better at, like, using it, I guess, passively because I have it in the first place. And then just be like, all right, fine. You want to fuck around with the human limits, Mr. Nemesis, so will I. Just not like that, because you're fucking disgusting. And I don't think he could conceptualize, like, just being able to live without your head. Enough to make it true.
Anyway, that's going to be it for this session of Cradle to Crypt. Thank you all so much for being here. If you have not done so already, please follow and or subscribe to see more amazing content like this. This will be probably one of the very few English anime channels you will ever find. I shouldn't say channel, but we have some anime content. Also, check out our Pathfinder 2e content, which you can find. We'll have the rest of the week, Tuesday and Friday, will be our next 2 games. As well as check out the channel for any Pathfinder 2e content that you might like. I've been doing a very successful series. Yes.
Could I throw in a side award for not digging the knife and just being my general bro, and also for the pain of being a player award away to Devin?
Sure. Go ahead.
You're welcome, Twinsy. Our brotherly love. Continue.
Beyond that, nothing new this week. Fortunately, finally, we're no 100 subscriber videos, no 1-year anniversary videos. I'm very happy. It's just nice not having extra work to do in a week. Then again, now I'm talking about doing another video during the week, so we'll have to see. We're already past halfway to the next 100 mark. We're at like, what, 158 on the channel right now. If it hasn't grown since we started doing this session today. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, thank you to my players for being here and role-playing with me for the evening. Let's go ahead and say good night, everyone.
Nighty night.